If you're a fellow crocheter or fiber artist and based in the US, you know that the beloved craft store and icon for generations now, JOANN, is gone. And as I covered in 2 previous videos, hundreds of store closures are now happening across the country, which leaves a lot of us fiber artists wondering, where do we buy yarn now? Whether you crochet as a hobby or are a full-time artist business like me, I want this video to serve as a survival guide. I've rounded up the best JOANN alternatives from budget-friendly options to dreamy indie yarn shops so that you can keep your stash stocked and your projects flowing. Alright, so if you're here, you probably already know what's going on with JOANN, but if you don't, make sure that you check out my other 2 videos. Whether you're a fiber artist on a budget or a small business owner restocking supplies, or you're just someone who likes to touch every single skein before committing, the good news is that there are tons of options out there. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking them all down into a few different categories: budget-friendly big box alternatives, online options, and local options. If you're looking to expand your creativity within or beyond crochet and knitting, you'll definitely love the sponsor of this video, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is an amazing platform with thousands of classes for artists, crafters, and creative business owners. Recently, I've been taking the Natural Dyeing Dye Multicolored Yarn with Natural Colors class by Casey of Cedar Dell Forest Farm, and let me tell you, it's such a good way to stay inspired and learn how to naturally dye yarn with flowers, leaves, roots, and other things in nature, and create the most gorgeous colors. If you're curious, the first 500 people to use the link in the description box below will get a free month trial of Skillshare. So you can start exploring that right now. Whether it's fiber arts, photography, illustration, or productivity, there's a class for you on there. And thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. I want to quickly share what I personally like to look for when I'm shopping for yarn online, because not all yarn sites are created equal. So here are a few things that I like to keep in mind. I love luxury fiber moments as much as anyone, but for everyday projects or larger pieces, affordability is definitely important. I like having access to acrylic and natural fibers like cotton, bamboo, wool, or recycled brands. I also love a good color palette, and there's definitely bonus points if the photos are taken in natural light. Fast shipping is always great, but I also like to check the return policy in case something shows up looking different than the photo looked like online. Not a deal breaker every time, but if a shop uses eco-friendly fibers or supports artisans directly, that's definitely a huge plus. So with all of that in mind, let's dive into some of the best JOANN alternatives. So let's start with the big names. These are the ones closest to JOANN in terms of price point and selection, and they're great for basics and acrylics and quick restocks. So the first one is Michaels. Michaels is probably the easiest swap for JOANN. Their online store has a pretty great selection of yarns, including Loops and Thread, Lion Brand, Bernat, Red Heart, and a few others. They run pretty good online sales and coupons, and honestly, sometimes the online deals are better than what you'll find in store, similar to JOANN. The next one is Walmart, and hear me out on this one. Walmart is definitely stepping up its yarn game. They carry a surprising amount of Lion Brand and their own budget yarns that are decent quality for the price. Shipping is also fast, and if you have Walmart Plus, it's definitely a solid option if you need the basics. Now the next one is Amazon, and I know that this can be a hit or miss, and many may not want to support them for various reasons, which I definitely understand, but some people may not have other options, so I wanted to make sure to include them here. But it is kind of a wild west, and you can find just about everything on there, including bundles and discounted lines, but it also can get pretty pricey fast. If you want to go down this route, just check the seller and make sure that the reviews are generally good and that you're not overpaying for something. And any and all of those are good options to replace what JOANN used to offer. But if you're really wanting to go up to the next level, you'll definitely want to consider shopping online. If you've been wanting to explore more unique, sustainable, or absolutely beautiful yarn options, then this section is for you. And so the first one is We Are Knitters and Wool and the Gang. They offer stunning natural fiber yarns, including 100% cotton, wool, and recycled blends. Their aesthetic is definitely clean and modern, and they offer kits that are great for beginners. I also love this next one, and it is Hobby. They're based in Copenhagen, Denmark, and Hobby has become a favorite among many fiber artists because they offer a vast selection of yarns ranging from budget-friendly basics to luxurious brands. And they also offer a wide variety of fibers, including wool, cotton, bamboo, and cool blends like cotton silk and alpaca acrylic. They also provide engaging features like the Hobby Bingo app, where you can win prizes and discounts, and a plethora of free patterns on there to inspire your next project. You could also check out Darn Good Yarn. The shop is amazing if you want color, and they carry upcycled sari silk yarns, hand-spun blends, and support artisans, especially women in India and Nepal. Each skein feels like a story, and honestly, the textures are really beautiful. Knitpicks and Crochet.com offer affordable, high-quality yarns and tons of variety, everything from Peruvian wool to organic cotton, and they also have their own dye lines and gorgeous natural palettes. Their prices are super fair for the quality, and they often have great sales, bundles, and tools. I also love Love Crafts. This one's a hybrid. It offers mainstream brands and some indie brands, and their shipping's pretty fast, and they even offer free patterns that coordinate with yarn purchases. It's sort of a one-stop shop, and if you're indecisive but still wanting a little something different, this is a good option. Also, Etsy, of course, is Etsy. I know it can be overwhelming, and it can you can not really know what you're getting yourself into, and you really have to dig on there, but there are some incredible indie dyers on there. If you just search fiber, or you filter by your location, if you want to support someone local to you, you can find hand-dyed, merino, plant-dyed cotton, and just naturally speckled blends that are really beautiful. I know that indie and eco yarn might cost a little bit more, but you are supporting local, real artists and small businesses and sustainable practices, and that energy definitely carries into the final piece that you're creating. All right, and let's not forget some of the most underrated gems in the yarn world, and that is local yarn shops and specialty fiber markets. Let's start with more affordable options. If you're on a budget or you just love the thrill of the hunt, this one can be a fun and eco-friendly way to build your yarn stash, and it is thrift shops. I found full skeins of Red Heart, vintage wool, and cotton blends at Goodwill, Savers. Sometimes they're mixed in with craft supplies, and other times you'll find them in little bags that are $2 or $3. You can also try reuse stores, and I've just discovered what these are. You can check if your city has one in Google, and also put a map that has some different reuse stores here. Reuse stores specialize in donated craft supplies, not just yarn, but also paint, fabric, paper, and all kinds of items, and you can sometimes pay by the pound or fill up a bag, and they're super budget-friendly options, and they keep materials out of landfills. You can also check out garage sales and estate sales. Yarn stashes get passed on all the time, and you can also check out local listings on Facebook Marketplace or even Craigslist, and you'd be shocked by different amazing bundles on there that people are letting go of. It's definitely a hit or miss, but when it hits, you walk out with a bag full of yarn for the price of one skein. And this is a really super sustainable way of sourcing your yarn, and it adds a bit of adventure to your crafting experience. Now let's talk about some options that are not necessarily the cheapest, but the experience is unmatched, and that is your local yarn shop. Even if your big box store is gone, there's definitely a good chance that there's a smaller yarn shop nearby, and many of them also have online shops too. Their stores often carry hand-dyed or regional yarns, plus tools and accessories that you won't find anywhere else. And you're also supporting a small local business that genuinely cares about art when you shop from them. Another great option are fiber festivals and maker markets. If you ever get the chance, you should definitely go to a fiber festival. I know I've been wanting to go to one. The These are really great events for finding indie dyers, alpaca farms, spinners, and weavers selling their yarn and handmade goods directly. And even if you can't go in person, many festivals have online virtual marketplaces or Instagram vendor lists. You can just search Fiber Festival or handmade yarn and you can see what pops up in your local area. Another option are co-ops and farm shops. Some regions have yarn co-ops or even alpaca goat farms that sell their own yarn directly. You can sometimes find these through local Facebook groups, Instagram, or even by Googling your state fiber co-op. And it's a really great way to get rustic, natural, small batch yarns that feel really special. These yarns tell a story and you know where they came from and who made it, which makes them extra special. And so no matter whether you're shopping local, indie, or online, there's a whole bunch of options outside of JOANN just waiting to be explored. Another bonus option that is a bit more committed but is definitely worth it is learning to spin your own yarn. I know that I've been definitely wanting to explore this lately. It's definitely a full-on fiber to skein moment, and it might sound super advanced, but there are so many different beginner-friendly ways to get started, from drop spindles to tabletop spinning wheels, and it's way more accessible than you might think. And it's kind of the ultimate full circle fiber moment here. Spinning also lets you customize your own yarn. You can customize the fiber content, texture, twist, color. You can also blend roving, recycle yarn scraps, or even wool from local farms. And if you want to dive deeper into connecting with materials, spinning is a really grounding and magical practice. I haven't really started it yet, but it's really high on my list. I have a little drop spinner and a little mini e-spinner here, but I'm looking to upgrade soon and want to get more into spinning this year, definitely. So if you're a spinner or you're thinking about getting into it too, drop some of your tips or favorite resources in the comments for me below. I would definitely appreciate it. So yes, JOANN might be closing its doors in some places, but that doesn't have to mean that your creativity slows down. If anything, it's kind of an invitation to explore and to discover some new yarn options. You can also support indie makers and try some sustainable options, or maybe even spin your own yarn. So if you rather fill your stash on a budget, supporting fiber artists around the world, or want to learn a new skill, there are so many different incredible ways to keep creating. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe and share it with a fellow fiber friend who's wondering where to get their yarn now. Also, let me know where are some of your favorite places to source yarn locally or online, and we can definitely start a conversation down in the comments below. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me in the next one.